today's top 10 worst of list is perhaps the best worst of list for me personally. I know last week was pretty good. We had top 10 worst sexualized LARP characters for group erotic cosplay sessions. But I gotta be honest, I think this one's gonna be my all-time favorite. It's top 10 worst Night of the Living Dead knockoffs. Now, Night of the Living Dead franchise started, 62, something like that. Part of the whole Cuban Missile Crisis, atomic age, duck and cover era. But this franchise, Night of the Living Dead, if you think about it, and pretty much I think you can give them zombie movies in general. And I know he was the first person for zombies, but Night of the Living Dead has become so iconic and so just like so fantastic that its preeminence amongst zombie movies cannot be touched. It's clearly the first zombie movie that's ranked as a cult movie classic that can't be missed. This is Carnival of Souls. I can't remember which one came first. So we'll forget Carnival of Souls actually exists, because that might conflict with my assertion. But the franchise, the Night of the Living Dead and subsequent of the Living Dead, there's Dawn of the Dead, then you had Breakfast of the Dead. Oh, so I'm stepping on my material. TRL, The Living Dead, Total Video Live. What total was that? Total Replay Live. What was it? I don't know, the MTV show. MTV of the Dead. But before we get to that, just a few. Number one, I'm not responsible for anything I have to say. You can. I can say anything I want, and my hair. I've had so much problem with my hair over the last few episodes. I'm just gonna hold it like this. I'm like the flying nun. Dee 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 dee. Hi, I'm a nun, flying high like a nun. Ooh, Sally Field. I oftentimes think of myself as the new modern day Sally Field. Shocked. I was so close to getting that role in frickin' Forrest Gump. They were going to call it Forrest Plump. And I was... All right. So, I'm not responsible for anything I say. I'm just going to say whatever the frick I please. Some of it's going to be right on the money. Some of it's going to be like pure conjecture. It's a world of pure imagination. Trust me. And I'm not pilled up. And I wasn't pilled up on the episodes that I either looked like I was pilled up or claimed to be pilled up. I don't get pilled up. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't sex around with my teabagging hewers. I don't do teabagging hewers. I'm frigid. I'm just talking about not spending $41 trillion to give tax breaks to billionaires. And at the end of the day, the banknotes that we borrowed, the $41 trillion to use to give the tax breaks to billionaires, the paper's held by the billionaires. So we gave them the tax breaks so they didn't have to pay that. Now we owe them, for the right to give them their tax breaks, another $41 trillion. $82 trillion we're paying out to these same jerk-offs who don't need it and couldn't possibly spend it. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about common sense, goddamn Give us a single payer frickin' system already. Give us some, like a balanced opportunity for economic mobility. Give us something to live for and feel proud about in our society and our culture. And give us equity and justice for all. God damn it, you promised it. This in your freaking cheap ass flyer 250 years ago to the day. What was that all about? Big lie? Declaration of Independence. I'll tell you what the freaking Declaration of Independence really is. You better freaking listen for once in your goddamn stupid ass waste of life. The Declaration of Independence was a goddamn army recruitment flyer. They put it out there that they're going to make all men created equal, and that the King George III from England was some jerk off that we shouldn't pay money to. They put all that in the Declaration of Independence so people would read it and say, like, oh, this sounds kind of interesting. Yeah, I'm down. Because they had to go up and fight against the best equipped, most dangerous army in history. So what were they had to promise them something. They didn't have real, like, significant bucks to give them to be in the army. So they're like, all right, this is what we do. We come up with an army recruitment flyer that says everything that they're going to want to hear. Freedom for everybody, pursuit of happiness, all men created equal, blah, blah, blah. And then we'll fight the war if we can get enough of them off their asses, off their couches, for long enough to beat the British's ass. We'll come back and we'll come up with a new document that is the law of the land, and we'll take back all that silly stuff about all men are created equal. And that's what it was. And it's 10 years later, okay, between the Declaration of Independence and the frickin' Constitution. And it's pretty much all the same guys. The same attitude, certainly. So in 10 years, they didn't change their mind. 10 years worth of fighting, gaining their freedom from the British, and they're all of a sudden taking back all the good stuff from the Declaration of Independence, saying like, oh, I'm sorry, you thought that we really meant that stuff? We were just trying to get you to join the army. And that's what the Declaration of Independence was. How could you ever possibly think that it wasn't? Look at me trying to stretch both eyebrows. It's almost like my face is symmetrical. By the way, if anybody sees that my face is going non-symmetrical during the course of this or any other episode for that matter, please leave it in the comments that I might have stroked off a little. Let's party. Oh, let's party. Crazy Guggenheim. Oh. Yeah, man. It's called being bamboozled. None of the stuff that they promised in the Declaration of Independence, they never really were going to give it to us. They were going to give it to us, but a different kind of give it to us. As in grab your ankles and drop your trowel. Drop trowel and grab the ankles. Face down, kitty up, bitch. So, anyway. I'm not down for the I'm not a partisan hack. I'm not going to fight you on it. You want to be a bastard? You want to be a jerk off? You want to be intolerant? You want to be free to be you and me? I'm not going to stop you, certainly. Look at me. I'm freaking total washout. So, don't look to me for your freaking validations, you weak-kneed. Hang on a second. Weak-kneed. Ignoramuses. I jotted down a few adjectives. I was running low on adjectives. I've done 115 of these frickin' things. Cut me some slack, you slacker. Alright, so, here we go. This is everybody's favorite section of Top 10 Words of the List. Top 10 Words of the List. It's time for the commercial sponsors. We've got a few new sponsors today. From the people who brought you Madame Tussauds House of Wax, now comes Madame Tussauds House of Bikini Wax. Check out the bikini waxes of the rich, famous, and near famous. How does Beyonce's bikini wax look? How about Ariana Grande's bikini wax? Or perhaps 50 Cent's bikini wax? Come on down to crazy Madame Tussauds House of Bikini Wax, Pilgrim, and see for yourself. Now available for a 10% discount with every proof of purchase of a box of a DVD box set copy of Eraserhead by David Lynch. Also, a new sponsor today from the people who brought you. Do patent leather shoes really reflect up? It's the Chrysalis School for Drunk Dialing. Have you had trouble with drunk dialing, not being able to close the deal? There you are. It's Friday night. You had a little too much. You tippled a little too much, and you neglected to balance it off with some comestibles. And then it's late at night. You want to make the booty call, but do you have the skills to pay the bills? At Chrysalis School for Drunk Dialing, we teach you not only how to leave an effective message that will get you a call back 8.3 out of 10 times, but also how to handle yourself with your selected casual sex partner. Because at Chrysalis School, sports sex is goddamn big news. Hot soup. Chrysalis School for Drunk Dialing could be the difference maker in whether or not you get your wick wet. That's my imitation of Tony Curtis from the movie Some Like It Hot, while he's dressed like a woman. He's always got the lips pursed. It's the best lip pursing in movie history, in my book, buddy. It's the Chrysalis School for Drunk Dialing. Wear it and be wonderful. And finally, from the makers of Star Wars, the worst movie franchise of the last 20 years. After 30, 40 years, whatever, 50 years, they've still yet to come up with anything other than a Death Star to be the weapon of choice for the antagonists. And now they're, that ABC, Disney owns all that stuff, coming to ABC for must-see Sunday mornings. It's Dancing with the Death Stars from the producers of Dancing with the Stars. And I don't know how it works, really. I mean, they got Death Stars and they're dancing on the Death Stars or with the people, Death Star AI Death Star robots and something. I don't know how it works. It's Dancing with the Death Stars. See, that's why I'm sitting here looking like 1,000 pounds of death shoved into a 10-pound bag. It's because of really horrifying and distasteful almost bad jokes like Dancing with the Death Stars. But we got one more try at the brass ring with from the producers of Access Hollywood comes Access Morningwood. See, that doesn't really, that's disappointing. I thought I would have come up with at least one that was memorable, that wasn't completely off-putting. I wish I was off-putting. That's a that's joke thievery. I almost feel like Eric Bonanza. What's that guy's name? Tony Danza's ex-sister-in-law, Carlos Mencia, or who's another guy? Dennis Wilson from the. You ever listen to Dennis Wilson's album Pacific Ocean Blue? Oh my God, Jesus, your heart will melt. That guy was so underrated, unbelievable. That one album, forget about it. There's 2 or 3 songs on there, just like, oh Dennis, someone has hurt you, Dennis, and then he just dives into some marina, crushes his skull, crushing your head. Dennis Wilson should have come out with his final album. Dennis Wilson, I'm crushing your head. Access Morningwood? What was I on to think that at any point that was funny? That would make elicit any sort of anything but pity and revulsion. Sad sack of the month club. All right, I think that's it. There was something I forgot. There was one tangent there that I forgot what it was, so I'm just gonna have to move on. I don't want you to have to be bored. Top 10 worst Night of the Living Dead knockoffs. Okay, you get it? First of all, it's top 10 worst of list. So there's 10 items and increasing levels of humor, importance, satirical relevance, and what's the other one thing? Let's just throw in another relevance. So we got double the relevance as the list proceeds and the numbers decrease. The weighted relevance to the second power increases. It's weird. I don't think these are really well thought out. I think they should be increasing. I think the first one should be 1 and the one with the most power should be 10. Why is 10 the one with the least power in the top 10 list? It's the biggest number. It should have the most power. Who the hell invented this stupid ass top 10 list with the biggest number at the top of the least least powerful element on the list? You say, like, if you hate eggs, okay, and the list was the top 10 worst things for breakfast, and you can tolerate, if it's like a poached egg or something like that, it's part of an entire freaking eggs Benedict, oh my God. But you're just not really down. It's never ordered, but once in a while you're like, you know what, I'm going to try to shift things up a little bit. I'm going to have the eggs Benedict. Or huevos rancheros. When you're out all night drunk and, the only place that's open is a Mexican place. It's frickin' carnitas or chorizos, burritos, stuff is just too much, man. Jesus Christ. And you're like, can you guys serve huevos rancheros at 3 a.m.? And they're like, sure, whatever. So you get the huevos rancheros. Even though you don't really like eggs, but you know that, if you go any heavier, there could be problems. Putrescent nature. So, in that case, if you're doing a top 10 list, the way it's set up now, the way it's stratified, with 10 being the biggest number, but the least important in terms of the weightiness, the relevance on the list, eggs would be number 10 for you. Which makes no sense if we think about it, but we never think about anything at this point anymore. 10's the biggest number. 10 is I mean, way bigger than 10 times bigger than 1. Why do we make 1 the most popular? 10 should be the top of the list. Let's do it. I'm going to switch up the numbers. And 10's going to be take the place of number 1. Which somebody can take the place of this side of my hair. Jesus Christ. I got it again and again and again. It gets all tangled on this side because this is the side that I had my lobotomy on. Alright. Top 10 worst Night of the Living Dead knockoffs. Number 1, which is, keep in mind, number 1 is number 10. Because it's the lowest number on the list. So it should be the lowest in terms of power. Power is everything. And top 10 worst ever. Hey, where are you? I find you. Number 1, Rush Hour of the Living Dead. Oh, yes. Can you imagine how much worse Rush Hour would be if you got Living Deads all over the place and stuff? I can. But let's be serious. Rush Hour of the Living Dead really can't hold a candle to some of the other ones I got on this list. Okay? That's why I put it at number 1. Number 2, which should be number 9 on most top 10. For some reason, I don't know why, but they count backwards on top 10 lists when 10 should be at the top. 10 should be... Oh, forget it. I already explained. Jesus Christ. Look, that one's not my fault, though. You're really stubborn and mule-headed. I mean, you out there have to have... You're so dumb that... I'm going to interrupt today's list. I know I'm already, losing a lot of time here. Wait a second here. Oh, God. Hang on a second. I got something here. Right for you. Right up your frickin' hiney. I'm going to put it right up the... God damn it. What the hell? Okay. You asked for it. You lousy pinko commie ruffians. You're so dumb, you sit on the TV and watch the couch. Woo! Woo! Oh, that's damn it. That's real serious damage. You're so dumb you thought Taco Bell was a Mexican phone company. Ooh, that's my Taco Bell. You're so dumb your favorite color is lunchtime. Oh, it's a spanking. How does that raw, freshly spanked ass feeling lousy punk? You're so dumb animals use you for testing. Yes. You're so dumb you tried to shut a revolving door. You're so dumb you failed detention. You're so dumb you blow on hot Cheetos before eating them. You're so dumb you caused a traffic jam because the stop sign never said go. You're so dumb you thought seaweed was a cannabis strain. You're so dumb. I probably think this song is about you. You're so dumb. Number 2 of the top worst Night of the Living Dead knockoffs. Ladies' Night of the Living Dead. Yes. Let's hear it. Oopsie boom. Oh, I screwed up again. I didn't set up my little doohickey. How about them cubbies? Number 3 of the top 10 Night of the Living Dead knockouts, which would ordinarily be number 8 if we were conforming to the frickin' status quo, which we aren't anymore. We're riding. God damn it. That Ren and Stimpy show where he eats the soap. Space madness. We don't have to worry about that anymore. We're riding. Something in that ballpark. Number 3. Brunch of the Living Dead. That's right. That's why I was talking about spasms. What was I talking about before? Eggs Benedict. So yeah, if you put Eggs Benedict on your list of the top 10, if we were doing it in normal order, eggs would be number 10. But on today's list, if we had that same, your favorite breakfast items as the top 10 lists, eggs, which is your least favorite, but somewhat tolerable if you know, Huevos Rancheros situation happens to pop up, it'd be number 1. Because it's the first on the list, and 1 is the smallest number, and 1 is the least value. How many times are you going to pound out in your skull? Would you please do me the honor of becoming my wife? Oh, I proposed to you on Top 10 Worst Stuffs. Ooh, I like that muted bell. It ruined my Spinoffs. I need some WD-40 for my bell clapper. Number 4 of the top 10 worst Night of the Living Dead knockoffs. In reverse order of the normal reverse order, making it a double reverse order, or simple ascending numeric value order. Numeric value meal of top 10 lists today. The Happy Hour of the Living Dead. See, now that would be, I mean, you know, that'd be interesting because you get together with the friends after work and stuff like that, and you're drinking, you're getting getting your drink on, and a few Living Dead show up. At least you get your crew with you, right? Where you can go, straight up, butt heads with the Living Dead guys and gals, and party down at the same time. I get 2-for-1 margaritas, beating ass of Living Dead, 2-for-1 margaritas, stuff. Doesn't get any better than that. Or for me, I prefer Cosmopolitan. While beating Living Deads. All right, now this is getting a little confusing. 3, 4, 5, which is right in the middle. No, actually it isn't. If this was going in regular descending order of the numbers, as it would, where 1 is the preeminent line item on your top 10 list, this would be number 6. But in reverse order, where 10 is the preeminent number, somehow it comes out to be number 5. It's weird. I don't have time to think about it. I got bigger fish to fry. Number 5, Bake Sale of the Living Dead. Oh, let's raise some money for local soccer team after school program by selling baked goods with the Living Dead to the Living Dead. Would a Living Dead, if you put like fresh brains inside of a pie or something like that, it's like Living Dead meals kind of like, I don't know, if you're like Living Dead, okay, so people don't really get into like if there's a lifespan to Living Dead's, if the average lifespan of Living Dead, more or less, either they end the movie before we see them age out, or all get killed out, or something. Most of them do get killed in the course of the movie, but in some of the movies, there's still like a few stragglers and stuff. So, lifespan of the Living Dead would be an interesting scientific inquiry. I think I'll write the journal, the JAMA, the Journal of American Medical Association, and see if I might be able to get some funds to research what the lifespan of the Living Dead is. Do they die of old age? I mean, we have been force-fed a continuity that spans most, if not all, Living Dead movies where the living deads are just, like you get them in a headshot, or you what's that, double spasm for the zombie land? Double notch, double hit? Is that? Well, you double kill them. Because you gotta, sometimes, in some of those zombies are aggressive. Battle Station Z or whatever that was, those zombies are real super aggressive. And the ones with the Will Smith before he ruined his career, I am zombie, or I am alien, I am human, I don't remember what the hell. Those guys are like trying to bite glass. I tried to bite some unnatural things back in my salad days. But they're like gnawing on the glass and stuff. I never really thought of Will Smith as being like tasty enough to gnaw on like bulletproof glass over. I mean, look, if you're starving and stuff like that, you probably do just about anything. For a hot meal. Even eating Will Smith. Jesus Christ, he's had a tough life, huh? Billionaire, everything beautiful, doing everything you can to buy an Oscar, whatever, and then you show up the night you finally get the freaking Oscar you've been working so hard towards, and you screw up your whole life. Well, your life was probably screwed up. Who the hell knows with those guys? Now to think about it, maybe Will Smith might be ass kebabs. Where was I? I gotta keep better track of my tangents. Usually I'm pretty good at it. I can find my way back. But this one, Will Smith, was just too powerful. But so, how long do zombies live? Do they, if you don't shoot them in the head, will they just live, and then can they starve to death if they don't get enough brains? To double death? I mean, starve back to life? Do they come back to life after a while instead of dying? So they don't, when they get killed, if you don't get them in the head or double tap or whatever the hell, they come back to life as dead. But they continue dead. It's an animated dead with its own propulsion and its own sort of, mostly seems like intuitive impulses, as opposed to, in most movies, as opposed to directional thought process and intellectual pursuits in the zombie verse. But we've yet to really, nobody's really, sort of gotten into the intellectual side of what we're looking at here. At some point, do they, spring back to life? Because how do they die? I mean, if it's not, because the brain killing of zombies will shut off all brain functions, and they seem rather impervious to various different wounds and punctures throughout the rest of their body. So it takes the severing of the brain stems to shut them off. But if that never happened, and they don't seem to starve to death, do they just keep going on? And at some point, because in the United States, the average lifespan is 73 years. So do they go on as zombies for 73 years and all of a sudden they're human again? Because how would you die if you're already dead? You just say dead? I mean, that's fine. Just I'd like to get everybody on the same page so we know what we're doing it here. Because if I'm going to bake sale, oh god damn it. If I'm going to bake sale of the living dead, I want to know, I mean, are they going to live forever and just look for brains? Can they adjust their menu items to various different, baked goods and carbs and stuff? Do the living dead not need carbs, or is it just lower on the food chain because they sniff the brains and that's their favorite? My favorite meal of all time is hamburger Wellington. So if I walked into a buffet and I saw, well, they got some good stuff, they got some of that fugu fish and stuff on there, they got exotic capers and stir-fry catfish, and you keep going, and then all of a sudden you see hamburger Wellington, and you're like, oh, damn. It's like, all of a sudden, you just make a beeline for the hamburger Wellington, because you don't see it very often, and it's a bitch to make. That frickin' puff pastry is a pain in the ass. You gotta put it in the freezer for a couple of days, and in the sifter, what do they call the thing, where gains buoyancy, and then you got to put it back in the freezer for a couple of days, and then you can bring it out, like, oh, okay, here we go. And then you can't touch it. Why are you supposed to make something you can't touch? It's like, that's part of the big reason why I don't eat the meats anymore. Because you can't touch it when you're cooking. How the hell do you cook without being able to touch what you cook? It's a pain in the ass. Can't touch it. Can't. So, like saying, Bake Sale of the Living Dead, is it worth throwing or not? You gonna make any money? Or what? So think about it the same way. The Living Dead is at the same buffet. Okay? And they've got, on the buffet, they get the same stuff. They got pickled eggs, and they got Deuteronomy, and they've got Charlie Chaplin's shoe from the movie The Gold Rush, and they've got spaghetti and ball meat right there. And then at the end of the buffet, they got human brains. Like, still throbbing, fresh human brains. So the zombies are going to look at the table, and they're going to be like, oh, brains, my favorite. And they're going to go, nom, 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 and eat the brains. But what if it didn't have brains on the buffet? What if they were run out of brains? Or they took the tray in, but they're not going to have the brains out. They tell everybody it's not going to be more fresh brains for another 20 minutes. Our apologies to the clientele. Would they live with pickled eggs, and Charlie Chaplin's shoe? Will they eat that stuff when confronted with a brainless buffet? Because at some point in a world where zombies have destroyed all life, will they survive by replacing human brains with pasta dishes? It's a valiant point. Salient point. I don't know. It's some kind of point. Relevance. Here we go with more relevance. I showed a relevance in my pajamas once. How I got my pajamas on? Is the grease paint mustache a tribute to Groucho? Could be. Anywho. So, anyway, Bake Sale of the Living Dead's number 5 would be number 6 if we were doing it in this right order. Because we're doing the value of the numbers and the items on the list are in ascending order instead of descending order. So the number 1 is the worst and number 10 is the best. Number 5 again? I don't know. I'm really close. Number 5. Shut up. Oh, I freaking hate you so much. Number 5, kind of. The top 10 worst Night of the Living Dead knockoff movies. Afternoon Tea of the Living Dead. Could you please pass me the Grey Poupon and your brains? Afternoon Tea of the Living Dead is a part sponsored by... Hang on a second. Ugh, god damn it. Afternoon Tea of the Living Dead is a part sponsored by... That's My Prog Mom. Coming to Tuesday nights on the Learning Channel. It's the story of a family where their mother has been afflicted by a compulsion to ingest tons and tons of prog rock. It's That's My Prog Mom on Must See TV. I will now return you to toxic plasmosis. As part of whatever top 10 worst of the list. Number. So it's if it was somebody four. Number 6. No, number 7. I think I'm back on track now. Number 7, the top 10 worst of lists. Night of the Living Dead knockoffs. Fight Club of the Living Dead. Now we're talking. Oh, I need something bigger than that. God damn it. Oh, I got just the one for you. Oh. There we go. That one I like. It's my co-host free / ultra cheap ass sound effects online sound effects. I freaking look at my hair. Look at the humidity is doing to my freaking hair. I need to get some mousse, something. This is not working for me. Look at I'm flapping like a little goose. I'm like a goose. Hi, say hello to little goose. Flap, flappity, flap, flap. All right, number 8 of the reverse order version of the top 10 worst of lists. Worst knockoffs of Night of the Living Dead movie. Steam Bath of the Living Dead. That's in a steam bath, right? Do you think if the Living Dead take a schwitz that they'd like chill out a little bit and would be so aggro? Like when they come in, you're taking a steam and you're whatever, you're just like totally chillaxed. And in come the goddamn freaking Living Dead. Now, there's a lot of, with as many zombie movies as we've seen, there's so many unanswered questions about the universal elements of zombiehood that define their, like, things like range of motion, like, there's this, I've talked about this before, a horror story that I read in Famous Monsters Filmline magazine one time where Dracula goes to Mars and they promise him all the blood he ever want to drink, and after like a billion years or whatever, he gets tired of blood because it's too salty, and he drinks a glass of water. It was like a holy water or something or other, and they kill Draculas. Can zombies live long enough to where they get tired of brains and they look for, like chicken nuggets or something? I don't know what. Zombies. All you ever see them go for is brains, right? There's got to be a time when in some area, like a lot of the zombies get sort of hoarded into like areas where it's mostly zombies and stuff. So, I mean, do they color outside the lines and eat things other than brains in a brain, sort of like brain-free environment, or brain shortages type of situations? Sorry, I skipped back over to my previous thing. Those were all attempted jokes that I forgot to do when we were talking about Bake Sale of the Living Dead. But now we're talking about Fight Club of the Living Dead. Do you think that, Living Deads, if they, I mean, because they're already dead. I mean, take a hell of a lot if you're just talking about fisticuffs, even bare knuckle fighting before you knock the brainstem completely offline. So a Fight Club of the Living Dead would be something to see. Fight Club of the Living Dead is something to see. Living Dead peasants, as far as I can see. Ding, 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 ding. That's from Working Class Living Dead off of Plastic Ono Band. Where's I? Steam. Oh, we don't. Wait a second. I already had Steam Bath. Did I have to? Did I move on to Steam Bath the Living Dead already and forget to I don't know. I got number 8, Steam Back for the Living Dead. Did I not do... I don't know where I lost my place. Number 9 of the top 10 worst Night of the Living Dead knockoffs. Bar Crawl of the Living Dead. Now that could be fun. You know, again, much the same way as Happy Hour of the Living Dead could possibly turn into like a drunken, ridiculous melee of, you know, combining, you know, 2-for-1 Jaeger bombs with beat the hell out of, you know, totally aggro zombies. And then number 1 of the top worst Night of the Living Dead knockoffs, Taco Tuesday of the Living Dead. There we go. You know it. That would make a great freaking movie. In the Taco Tuesdays, you get brains, you get, you know, again, in the absence of brain, there'd be brain-like material. I mean, I would guess that zombies would be very confused if you gave them tofu brains and said, hey, you know, here you go, buddy. And you just toss them some tofu brains. I'll bet you they can make tofu brains pretty damn close to, like, the human brains. I know I could. Give me a $25 million budget, a fully tricked out laboratory, a plethora of tofu, just an assload of tofu. I'll get you some tofu human brains, and we'll figure this out for reals. Are you down? Who else is down? Well, anyway, I had a couple of runners up here. Midnight Snack of the Living Dead. Schwitz of the Dead, which I replaced with Steamback of the Living Dead, but I'm not sure that Schwitz of the Dead, Schwitz of the Living Dead, isn't just a tiny little bit funnier. Hound of the Baskervilles of the Living Dead. I was trying to come up with something that was sort of nuanced, like if you had Living Dead trying to figure out murder mysteries, like really sophisticated ones like Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Robert, what was that guy? And then Cadaver's Choice Awards of the Living Dead instead of People's Choice. Jesus Christ. Freaking hair. It's a menace. There's a menace in Venice. Cadaver's Choice. The host of this year's Cadaver's Choice of the Living Dead would be, I don't know, Ariana Grande. Or something. No, who's the guy who always does it now? The one that everybody hates. That comic. Like the British guy with the wacky teeth. That's the British guy. Say all kinds of things that piss people off. Martin Scorsese? Is that? Yeah, Martin Scorsese. Have Martin Scorsese be the host. Anything that puts Martin Scorsese into close contact with the Living Dead is aces in my book. Alright, so that's the time. That's the time we got for some things we have for you today. What an incredibly fun time it's been for me. I don't know about you. I don't really care about you. I care about you about the same as you care about me, which is likely to be Zippo. Tune again next week. Oh, the top 10. Oh my God, I'm looking at next time's top 10 tomorrow. Actually, I do this on a daily basis. I don't know why I keep saying next week. It just seems like, you know, the proper colloquialism for, you know, a show of this nature. But no, it's tomorrow. Tune again tomorrow for a brand new top 10 worst of the list. It's top 10 worst places to shop for black market corneas. Don't be late, or we'll start without you. Thanks so much for being a part of today's show. Remember, you know, all this stuff I'm saying is all my opinions, you know, and my frame of reference and what life has taught me, you know, diving in groin first into the pit of despair that we can perhaps charitably call our society. It doesn't belong to us. We don't belong to it. It's a very disturbing place to be in a very disturbing time. But I'm glad that we're here doing it together. Now we got a charity event that's coming up. I want to